Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Schlage 36-083 612 compression ring, is what this is, and it includes what's called a wave washer. Let's take it out of the packaging and take a look at it. The 36083 looks like that. It's a cylinder collar is what it is, or a compression ring. And that wave washer, and you can see why we would call it a wave washer, is used to keep your cylinder ring tight on your door, tight to the underside of the cylinder. As you thread the cylinder in, you're going to slightly compress that wave washer that's there. And that's how that's accomplished. Now, this compression ring is intended to be used with, if you want, with the 36082 blocking ring. They do or can go together. This is in the 612 finish, which is satin bronze. Okay, let's take a couple of basic dimensional properties of this item. Okay, 36083. They say that it is 1.5 inch diameter. That would have to be the outside. 1.487 on the outside. The ID, where the cylinder body would go through, 1.158. Thickness of the body, of the block of the cylinder ring, 0.318, and then the depth of this area down to the shoulder that's on the inside there, 0.264 deep, where the cylinder would sit into. This wave washer, just for the sake of giving an overall kind of thickness to it, say it's going to be about 0.22 inch. 0.22 inch, let's see, 7/32, something right in that range, roughly, thick. Okay. Now this, as I said earlier, this will work with the 36082 blocking rings. They make those in many different thicknesses. Let's switch to the screen view where we can take a look at some supporting information. Okay, so the supporting information, the item that we're looking at here, is all down below, and this would be really a copy of a table that we have recreated from the Schlage catalog. The 36083 is down here, and for use with the 36082 blocking rings. You just have to know how thick of a blocking ring you need. 1/8 of an inch, 3/16. They're in this column here as you scroll down, and they get all the way to 1/2 of an inch in thickness. And of course you can stack them together should you need to. But you're going to use compression rings and compression ring collars and the blocking rings together when you need to stand off a cylinder from the face of the door or the hardware. Think of, the concept would be an interchangeable core cylinder, and those are generally longer, but you're installing it down to just 1.75 inch thick aluminum. The blocking ring would certainly solve that problem for you because, again, 1/8 of an inch, 3/16, 1/4 inch, 5/16, 3/8, 7/16, and 1/2 of an inch. But it would be awfully nice to have the head of the cylinder inside of here to have the compression ring, completely surround the head of the cylinder. Not only, I think, would it give you a cleaner look, but will protect the head of the cylinder from a wrench attack. If you were to put a wrench on the outside of the compression ring collar and try to turn that, you're just going to freely turn because that will spin after it's installed. So I think it's a clean look. Now, the 36083 is obviously going to be available in all of the finishes that the Schlage products are available: polished brass, polished brass, satin brass, antique brass, satin bronze, oil rub bronze, satin nickel. 622 is black, polished chrome, satin chrome, polished stainless, satin stainless. The 643E is a throwback to like an etched bronze type color. They're calling it aged bronze. I think once upon a time there was a US 11E finish, and the finish still exists. But once upon a time in the 70s, I've seen cases of Arrow deadbolts that were all US 11E because it was a popular finish, obviously, then. And while I'm not that old, I have family members who are retired from the hardware industry. That is where I would have seen that material back in the old days. So you can do all of the finishes, obviously. Now, the link to the manufacturer's page, as seen here, is a tremendously helpful link because it will allow you to review not only all of the Schlage products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog, as well as several encyclopedic documents, such as a link to their service manuals, to their key blank quick reference guide. This is handy because it allows me to not have to worry about memorizing part numbers for key blanks. Okay, so that document is always there and available to me. Master Template Index is here. Archival catalogs, older Schlage catalogs, 1972, and we have some older ones. They're just not in the site just yet. Service manuals for Primus, service manuals for Everest, encyclopedic sort of research documents, etc. Let's finish up this video on camera. In conclusion, the name Schlage is quite synonymous with hardware and has been for almost 100 years. It was Walter Schlage who actually invented the concept of the cylindrical lock. If you're familiar with Schlage, think of the A-line lock, a keyed lock, a knob, and that cylinder is actually contained within that knob. Walter Schlage actually invented that concept, and that patent was somewhere in the very early 1920s, I believe. He did work for a lock company, and in his basement at night is where he refined his inventions. His moniker was the Lock Wizard, something of that nature, and his father was quite incredibly mechanically inclined as well. I don't recall the actual Schlage history. I've forgotten it. I've read it. I've read it a few times and I've forgotten it a few times, but that's out there and available for you to review as well. Actually, there's a video on our site, The Story Behind Schlage, and that probably touches on a lot of the Schlage history. Schlage actually purchased and owned LCN, and they are to this day sister companies under the Legion umbrella. That umbrella also has Von Duprin included, and Falcon, and Doramatic, Glenn Johnson, Ives, Zero. It's mostly a culture of excellence there at Schlage, Von Duprin, and LCN when it comes to technical support. They're just, they know their product expertly well. Any questions on the 36-083 and a 612 finish or any other Schlage product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.